color.
Do you milk these?
I do not, but other people do. They do produce a real rich.
They don't have a milk bag.
Oh, they do. It just have a nice small bag. Yeah, but they're just so hairy and plump that you really don't see it. But they do have a nice little bag. When they don't have a calf on them, obviously they don't have a bag. But they have a nice little. You might see it more on some of the ones that don't have the long hair like her. But it should be down there. Just hers is black, doesn't help too.
Some of them have black on the ends of the horns. Is that according to age or
no,
genetic?
It is, I think, her color. I just think it's the way they are, but the black ones seem to have more on the tip. Yeah, we fight. See, we're not... some of them, when they're younger, don't have it, and as they get older, but it's really a good observation because I've never paid attention.
Well, I thought they looked older. The older ones had the black.
Yeah, now, Chewy, which is the black cow right there, she's 4. So she's not old.
What cattle are they?
Here, I was going to ask
Tell us about them.
what breed are they?
They are Scottish Highlands.
They're what?
Scottish Highlands.
Oh, okay.
They originally are from Scotland. They are a very lean meat because they have hair on them. They don't like a barn. They'll eat anything of food value, which is why I got them. They'll eat picker bushes, brush. I was brush hogging all the time because the Russian or the autumn olives, whatever you call them, the burdocks, they'll eat it. If you look up there in the trees where they live when it's hot, they've got it trimmed about that high up. Yeah, they love it.
Where did you get them?
I got them from all over the place. They came from Indiana, Ohio, Michigan. There's a big breeder in Lansing. They're all over the United States.
What is your plan for having them?
Why do I have them?
Yeah.
Originally, when we came here, my thought was to make everything that would work together, not abuse the land. I was brush hogging all the time. So the reason...
What does that mean?
What does
Brush hog, I go out in the pasture and I cut down any weeds that I don't want to come back. They do it for me.
Oh, that's good.
They don't like a barn. They are very independent, natural cows. They have a very lean, rich, sweet meat. Yes.
How do you breed them? Do you have a bull?
Whitey is right down there. He's the bull. Yeah, he is right now. Because I have my other bull's daughters coming up, he's now, this is his first summer here breeding.
Looks like you've got some donkeys out there.
Yes, I sure do. They'll be coming over here and you'll find out who the boss in this pasture is. No, that's natural, and my bull stays all year. Over there's more bulls.
Okay.
But he stays in with them all year long. These cows have calves in January in the frigid cold, and they get up and they go. They are born with, as you can see, the babies. They're born with a real thick, heavy coat, and they weigh maybe 35 pounds, and they get up and they go.
And how old are these young ones?
This one right here was born May 1st. The little red one right down there was born September 21st. So they're very, they're not huge.
I have a question.
Yes.
I see one that's got short horns. Is that
Okay.
a younger one?
This one right here?
No. Short. They're very short. That one down there.
The little red one.
Oh, yeah, she was just born in September.
Not this year.
No. So she's maybe
Oh, this
10
year.
months.
Okay.
Yeah, about 10 months old.
Okay.
Ruby, right here, Ruby. Her horns are cut off. Ruby is basically a rescue cow. She was used to practice lassoing, roping. When Ruby come, she'd have been at the woods. I've touched her twice, and she's been here 4 years, I think. I don't know if they did something to her. She's never bred. She's never had a calf. She's just Ruby.
Does she have to be clean?
No. No. No, I don't show my cows. No. Maybe my granddaughter Liberty will do that soon, but so far, no.
How many acres do you have here for the...
For the cattle?
Yes.
Oh, that's a good question. Right here, I believe there's 60, but it's split with the cows and the horses. I try to do rotational grazing, which does help. And then there's another 22 acres over there, which they really, really love because it's got trees in it, but which the TV program doesn't really like because the deer get in there and they don't want the cows with the deer. So it makes it very hard.
That was my next question. Are they prone to get bovine tuberculosis or not?
As far as I know, they are the only breed of cattle in Michigan that has not gotten it. Buffalo have gotten it. Every other breed has gotten it. One of the reasons that I did select them was because I used to have buffalo, and they are like the docile, calm version of a buffalo. They're very hardy, they don't rely on me for much. As natural food as they can eat, they prefer it. And I think that is part of it. They're not commercialized.
Okay. But they do have to be tested for
I have to be tested
TB.
every year.
All right.
Once a year. So far, everything's been great.
Butcher any of them?
Yes, we do. Yes. It's a very, I was amazed even when the first one that we did, the meat is like a burgundy. It's a very deep, dark, very lean meat. Almost like a buffalo.
Butcher it for yourself, or do you?
So far for myself, it has worked out that I have done better money-wise selling the bulls for breeding bulls for other farms. So as it is right now, everything that because the girls I keep, the cows I keep, heifers I keep, I put them back in the herd. But the bulls, I've done better selling to other farms.
How about the chickens? Do they step on them?
Nope, they all get along
See 'em
great.
running around out there.
Yes. The chickens get along great with the cows. It's amazing. They'll eat together. Penelope here, she doesn't share well with the chickens, but Penelope and Fiona are here because of the chickens.
Are they all milk producing?
The cows,
Yeah,
if they're females, they can produce milk, yes, but I don't milk them.
but you don't have to milk them.
No. I was born and raised dairy. I did learn a little bit that I didn't want to do.
I see where the donkeys keep the
Cows away, aren't they,
They
too?
don't worry about the horns at all. They just turn their butts to them.
She's the littlest one. Penelope has kicked the bull right there, and
The one that turns the butt real.
oh yeah, she's the boss, and it amazes me that they're afraid of him. Yes, this is the bull. This is Whitey.
Oh my goodness.
He's 3.
3.
Yes.
You are so homely. What's the? You're like Donald Trump.
So what's the average weight then of a full-grown bull or a full-grown cow?
Cows probably about 1,100 pounds. Bulls, I go 1,500. They get bigger. I mean, my other one's probably 1,800.
So compared to, say, a Hereford, that's...
I would think pretty close,
pretty
because
close,
a Hereford is a short breed.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bigger Black Angus or anything like that, they'd be small.
You said that one down there is
September 21st,
the mother.
yes.
Where's her hair?
It just depends. Some of them, the redder ones seem to thin out.
Okay.
Ruby doesn't. I don't know why. Ruby keeps a full coat all year long. I don't know why the red ones seem to lose their hair. But yes. Yeah, flies are an issue. That's the purpose of the long hair on their face, is to keep the flies out of their eyes.
How do you determine when you're going to butcher one of your cows?
These,
Determining.
they're over there.
You do the bulls?
The bulls, yes. I butcher the bulls.
Okay.
Wow, that's an interesting question. I've always had this rule, 3 wrinkles by the tail means they're fat enough. But usually 3 years old. They're very slow growing, slow developing. They're not, but I am also not pumping them full of grain, trying to fatten them up. So it does take it's a longer process. But usually that's what I go by. You can tell, I guess I never really thought about it. I just look at them and say, well, guess what?
It's your turn.
It's your turn. Yep.
What time of the year do you start selling them off?
I don't have a certain time of the year. Usually your breeding bulls, they want them in June or July. I've sold them in November. I have one, that's why the gates are set up. I have to TV test for the one that's going to be going in August. So, but I have black, which is not a real, you know, usually they're red, done, then black. So the black bulls sell very, very well for me.
He must be more gentle if she's got her hand in.
They all are gentle. They're all gentle. Ruby is scared of. What I found when I first got them is young, cocky boys think it's funny to go in the pasture. So I've tried not to expose them to a lot of people. Like I can go out there and do anything, but when there's strangers, I'm surprised because when there's times they run. But I try not to make them
Domesticated.
Yes. Tell him.
I think he's telling us to feed him.
Oh, thank you. Yep. Yes.
You've been here long enough. Why did you get the donkeys for the chickens?
They keep the predators away. They will kill a coyote, the fox, anything that I can't control, they can. Just having him in here has changed the movement of the coyotes. It is great, and I have had times, the two worst predators I've had are hawks and owls.
Oh, yeah. The donkeys can't handle that.
The hawks, I have actually seen them chase. I've seen them circling, and when they come down, I've actually seen Penelope go after the hawks. She's a vicious, you wouldn't think it, but she's a vicious little bugger.
Which one's Penelope?
The one Ibby's.
Could we hear you better?
No, I'm sorry. Okay, ask me again and I'll say it again. What? We're talking about the donkeys and why I have them.
Yeah. Why do you have them?
I have them because they keep the fox and the coyotes out of the. They protect the chickens. I was telling them they will chase hawks. The owls are a real issue for me. I don't know if you've ever drove by and noticed I have a curtain on the door of the chicken coop. The purpose of that is I come down here, because it's been so hot, I'll come down here at 4 o'clock in the morning and open that coop door. And when I come back down at 10 o'clock, there'll be a dead bird. Oh. So it's still dark enough that owl will get them. So what I've done is put that sheet on there, because what they do is they go in and they get them in the perch, where they're sitting. So by having that sheet in there, it's done just enough to keep them from going in the coop.
What kind of owls do you get?
I think it's a screech owl.
No, it's a great horned or it's a barred.
Yeah.
A screech owl wouldn't take a chicken.
But I can hear them out there. They don't take them. That's the problem. All they do is kill them and eat their head. They're not taking the bird.
That's a barred owl though, or a great.
They oh, donkeys are getting mad. All the owls and the hawks do is eat their heads and down into the chest cavity. Wherever there are feathers, they leave it.
Everything that we don't eat.
Yes, exactly.
When they're having their babies, do you have a lot of problems with the coyotes coming in?
Nope.
Trying to get the afterbirth and the babies?
No, they clean up everything. They clean up everything right away. As soon as they have a calf, they're up and they're cleaning.
New Mexico, they have a lot of trouble with that. They come in packs.
Yeah.
And some of them will run around and
I don't
try
think
to get the mother's attention, and then they'll grab the baby and
I don't think we have the coyote population either that they have. But these guys are not really anything the coyotes want to mess with.
Oh, these are longhorn out there.
Yeah, but I have no problems with the coyotes.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, as far as the calving goes. Yeah.
How many roosters do you have?
There's one out there that's not supposed to be there. No, I buy all of mine, and I have them shipped here as pullets, as babies. Okay. He got through the sex screenings. So he's here.
I saw ducks out there too, didn't I?
Do I sell my eggs? Yes, I do. No, there's no ducks.
Oh, didn't I?
My daughter raises ducks. She raises goats. We have like total different farming operations.
Cindy,
Yes.
Why is that chicken coop here and then you've got all those chickens down there?
I have originally started down there. This version took me a little bit to convince some people to build for me. And it took some thought process as to what I wanted to do. The idea of that coop is, one, I don't have the manure that I have up there. There's cracks in the floor. I sweep it every couple days. I move that coop all the time. So as I'm moving them, they're fertilizing the pasture. They're also eating bugs, digging in the ground, spreading out the cow pies. I mean, it's just working out great. The one thing I didn't think of is I have massive all over here anthills. And they tear them up. So that's worked out great. But they just kind of go. I mean, they keep the pests down a little bit. They keep the manure spread out. They're working the ground. They're fertilizing it. Kind of a natural.
Did they have an adjustment getting used to that?
What I did is I bought babies and I put them in that coop. Because if I went up to the house and took 50 chickens out of there and put them in there, when I got up or went back out at night, they'd be back up there. So we raised them in there. We pulled them down here in there, and they follow it. You know, I moved it a great deal this morning, but they'll follow right along. Wherever the coop goes, they go.
What are the two penned areas?
Those are my meat chickens.
Oh.
And so every day, when I water and feed them, I come out twice a day, but I pick them up, and I move them. And there's about 20 chickens in there. So they basically are pasture raised. They're getting all their natural. But I have found white is just like the hawks.
Oh, yes.
And because they're meat chickens, they're made to grow big and heavy quick. They don't move. They can't get away. They can't get away. So I don't like the idea of them being caged or in a pen, but it's the only way last year I had 75 birds and I ate 23. So it was just a matter of, for their own safety and cost effective for me.
Does it have a lid on top?
It has boards that I can move. I don't have them out there in the winter, but it has shade. I have shaded, and I have a place for them to go so they're not getting rained on, which they didn't have to worry about this summer.
Okay, so there is a top on that.
Yep. And there's a lid I pull up. I get their water out. I can go in there, whatever I need to do.
How do you keep the chickens off the road?
You know, I have one naughty girl out of about 400 chickens that crosses the road.
You know what my neighbor told her grandson?
Huh.
They have shock collars on them.
Well, these guys, I don't think there's anything to eat. It's pavement. There's nothing, yeah. They'll go and dig on the sides of the road, you know, and make people panic, but no, I'm lucky.
So they are free range.
Yes, they are free range. They go. Yeah.
They don't go for the gravel for their...
No.
I saw them sitting under the trees when it was real hot.
Oh, they love it under that tree. Of course, Liberty plays under that tree, and they'll all, oh yeah, they love under the trees. I have some that'll perch in the trees. But at night, they all go back to the coop. To lay eggs, they all go back to the coop. It works out.
How many eggs do you get a day? Is there an average amount?
12 to 20 dozen.
Dozen, you say?
Yes.
Then what do you do with all your eggs?
Sell them.
Okay. At the house or at the farm market?
Most of them I sell from the house. What I usually do is if you call and say, Cindy, I want 2 dozen eggs today, I'll put them on the front porch because I'm not good about staying in the house.
Waiting for you to come by.
Yeah. Bessie and I are working on a roadside stand. Might take me as long as it took me to get the chicken coop, but we will have it.
It's really pretty.
You know, my boys built that, and Bessie and I knew what we were going to do. And they came home and they're like, ah! What did you do to our building? I told them someday you'll be famous, but a lot of people like it. It's cute, it's different, and I like to be different.
Well, how many perches do you have in there?
This whole end where Bessie's chickens, black chickens are, is a perch. And then there's some on the side. But there's only maybe 50 chickens that are with that. This is a test run this summer. And what I'll do is get more in the spring, and probably what I'll do is get more in the fall and just pull it up there where I can feed them and keep them in it. And for the winter, they'll stay up at the house.
Now, do you have similar by the house where the other
Similar
50 chickens are?
perches and everything?
Yeah,
Yeah. There's actually 200 up there.
200.
Yes.
Okay, this is-
There is, in that brown building that you can see from here, there is an area that is their area. There's perches, there's nesting boxes. They can go out 2 different directions, and all they go in there for is to eat and to lay an egg and to sleep.
They do go in to sleep.
Yes. Yes, they'll be perched all over. If I don't clip their fly wings, they'll be up in the rafters and everywhere else, but they do go in there.
Do you have more donkeys down that way then?
Nope. Just these 2. They kind of eliminated a lot of the problems that I had up there. So, and by eliminating the white birds, I eliminated a lot of problems. Most of my birds are red, and that's why. It just doesn't, I don't know what it is with the hawk's eyes, but it doesn't seem to stick out as much.
That must be the scratching first.
Oh, they're everywhere. They love trees. We can go up to the horse barn before you leave. They're all up there. Clydesdales.
Yeah, I know, but she said the chickens are all up there.
No, there's a couple up there, but I locked them up. They do have a rooster up there. I have chickens in the horse barn for fly control. Because they get in the manure, they eat the eggs, whatever, it works out great. I can't think of it. Is there anything else?
Feed? Do you have to buy a lot of feed then in the winter, or you're still cutting pretty much natural?
What I do by feed. I don't make any of my animals go 100% natural. Other than like the cows in the summertime are great on the pasture. But I don't starve them. I don't say, hey, there's, you don't get a worm, you're out of luck. So even inside of this chicken coop, there is feed in a feeder. A day, I probably go through 100 pounds of grain up there and about 50 pounds of grain right there. And that's a daily. So yeah, I do. And I try to buy everything I can locally as far as feed. We do go over to Fairview and get feed from the Amish because they have the non-GMO.
Right.
Yeah. So.
And how much are your eggs?
$3 a dozen. And they're in all shapes and sizes. We don't get as big because I don't pump the food into them. They are past, the free ranging, the active makes them a little bit smaller of egg, but we have all different colors and all different sizes.
What kinds of chickens do you have?
The majority of my chickens are Isaac Browns, or they are a cross with Rhode Island Reds. Okay. And there's 3 breeds that I like that are Rhode Island Red crosses, and it's because they're good production. They produce a good egg.
Got a future farmer here?
I hope so. Go back there and look, Eddie, and make sure you get everybody. Stand right here, Eddie.
Oh, I know it. I'm always in the front.
All right, little.
Always.
Tell him. Oh, thank you. Yeah.